Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And the first day in, well, not Scandinavia, but the first day on their travels, the Inghams, and they decide to put up this insane clickbait on the very first day. Now, only yesterday I talked about how a lot of things, they did nothing on their trip. It was all basically this, that they happened to do things like we almost died, we almost slipped off cliffs and things like that, stuff that actually never happened. But when that thumbnail popped up on their very first day on their holidays, I was like, oh fuck's sake, seriously. Anyway, it's not as it seems though. That's the insane part. It is actually more serious than that, so we're going to get into that in a short while. But first, let's see what else they did on their little holiday bobs. Holiday bobs. They're holly bobs.
Alright guys, welcome to truck stop number 1 of this trip.
Truck stop number 1. Your kids are so fortunate, aren't they, to be having the pleasure of sleeping in not just one, but multiple truck stops. You don't keep your kids locked up in truck stops all their lives. Seriously, it's not a good life.
And a very quiet and nice sleep actually last night. It was very nice indeed. We've got very nice actually 21.2 degrees inside, 7.5 outside. That is definitely going to start declining today. As we make our way further and further north, we're actually in Germany right now. We're just above Hamburg in Germany. We're about maybe 45 minutes.
So I don't want to worry you, Chris, but you seem to be looking a little bit under the weather. A bit worse for wear. See these little things down the side of your mouth? It doesn't look good, I'm sorry. And this is like your first day in the cold. It's going to get worse.
North of Hamburg. On the routing from Holland or even from Calais, you basically travel east. Like east all the way basically until you get to Hamburg, and then at Hamburg you turn north. And that's where we're at, and we go all the way up into Denmark, and then we're turning east again across towards the crossing to Sweden. So hopefully that is where we're going to end up today. We're around about an hour and a half away from Denmark, from the point in Denmark where we turn east, and then it's about 2 hours through Copenhagen and into Malmo in Sweden, where then we're going to turn to the west and start heading west.
Maybe it's just how he tells this story, but if you head east and then you head west, you're basically heading back on yourself. Am I missing the story here or something? I don't know. I think possibly he's going to go east and then go up and then go west, but knowing Chris, he'll probably go east then west and just head back the way. I don't fucking know.
Into Sweden. So hopefully we're going to make it to Sweden today. The goal is to make it to Sweden today. I'm not sure after then what the plan is, but today we need to get to Sweden. So
Chris is a geek and he wants a compass.
I forgot, I really wanted to buy a compass for this trip. I know I've got one on my phone. For anyone that says, oh, you've got one on your phone, I know I have. But I kind of want one on the wall. I want a compass on the wall in here just to be a geek and look at it every day. And, the sun must be on that side of the van this morning because this is east over here. Do you know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do.
It's okay, Chris, don't worry, it doesn't make you geekish to need a compass, because after all, when all else fails and the van goes like that, a compass will be all that saves you in the long run,
I know I'm a geek, and everyone's laughing at me right now, but I don't care. It's fine, I'll be a geek. Whatever makes me happy, exactly. So today the plan is a push about 4 hours driving or so to get into Sweden, and then from there is on, baby, let's go. Oh, right, let's do it. Steamy windows, look at a Rari pig, she's so cute. Hello darling, good morning.
So I have a theory here, okay? So I noticed that he filmed and shot this period of on the motorway for a lot longer than he usually does, and it wasn't the montage. So the reason I think he did that is because he thinks that it was a beautiful shot and it's something content wise that people want to watch, because he's the incredible travel vlogger that he is, and he just thinks that is what it was boring, Chris. It was boring.
Okay, guys, welcome to Ausfahrt.
What? No, that's an exit on Germany, babe, on the motorway. You mean Mittelfahrt. Mittelfahrt. This is where we are now.
I'm just gonna start that again. Okay. So it's baby censoring. I moved over here and vlogged over here so that it wouldn't. Why can't you turn it down? Just turn it down.
I can't see the buttons for it.
Top.
I don't know where the buttons are.
The top.
I pressed that and it went off.
There we go. That's it. Oh, well done. Guys, welcome to Middlesfart.
Mittelfahrt.
Middlefart.
It's probably Mittelfahrt.
It's probably Middlefar.
But we're immature, so we're saying in Mittelfahrt.
Not gonna lie, it doesn't make you immature, Chris. I mean, I've seen this name before myself, Mittelfahrt, and yeah, it's one of my favourite football team names. Sorry.
Guys, we just had a full-on blown conversation about how Ausfahrt on the motorway in Germany, by the way. We're now in Deutsch. No, we're not in Deutsch. No.
You need to wake up, mate.
I need to wake up. Anyway, we just got...
No, Sarah, this is you, right? It's not the fact that you're half asleep or you're being distracted by the baby sensory. It's just you. This is you and your brain on a regular basis. And you probably do think that Denmark is, in fact, in, called Deutschland,
We're in... Babe, what's going on with me? We're in Denmark. What am I talking about? We're in Denmark. We're not in Dutch. Makes no sense. We're in Denmark right now. Crossed over the border. It's really, really sunny and beautiful here. And we've just pulled up at a Lidl. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're going to go and get some lunch. I think because it's already 1, we might just get some pastries from the pastry section rather than trying to cook some lunch up.
No, mate.
Do you not want me to do that?
No, I'm joking. Just see what there is. I don't mind. I'm happy to get on the road. I'll see what there is.
I think we'll get on the road.
Yeah,
We've only got about 2 hours to go until we actually enter Sweden. And then I think we're going to stop somewhere around there. Like, we're not getting into Sweden and then driving far. We're just going to get into Sweden and then find somewhere to park up for the night, right? Play some family games. I'm so excited! The girls are like, Mum always does this thing while we're travelling, like, it's so exciting! I always find everything so exciting when we're travelling. It's fun. It's the fun time. And I'm going in my first, I was about to say Dutch again, Lidl in Denmark. So I'm so excited!
Oh my god, seriously, this is the height of excitement for you. The fact that you're going in your first Lidl Denmark. My god, I don't even know what to say about that. It's like, it's not even a thing that when people say you're jealous of them, you're absolutely jealous. It's not even a thing that I would be even remotely interested in doing. No, I mean, I have a Lidl. It's just down the road from me. I don't even go in that, right? So, I'm not going all the way to Denmark to go to Lidl, right? I'm just not.
Oh, they look so good. Look at those. Half peppers, half thingies.
All the peppers.
They look so good. I can't work out the pricing though in here. Like, what's all this pricing?
What's 20 minus?
I don't understand.
Because it can't be 1 kilogram for £40.
£40? I mean, I'm sorry, Sarah, but like, I can't. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry. But my God, Sarah. So, when you do things like, I don't know what's this come under? Geography, economics in school, in your wonderful schooling that you do, right? In fact, this could be a very educational moment for you, and So when people say that you don't do any like education on the road and things, this is it, right? Tell your child that they don't work in pounds in Denmark, right? They don't. In fact, there's very few countries in the world that do work in pounds. Well, British pounds, and Denmark's not one of them. I think you'll find that the UK is pretty much it.
Like, what?
Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm literally so embarrassed right now.
And I'm really mad.
It's not euros, that's why I can't work the price. How did I not remember that from last time?
See, you're saying you're so embarrassed, but it's not even embarrassing. It's just stupidity. It really is. I mean, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, Sarah, but you know when you go away, right, anywhere, even for us little people who, don't, we're not world travellers like the Inghams, right? We do our research about what is in each country, what the currency is, what the language is, what, maybe brush up on a little bit of your language, and things like that before you go to the country, That could have been something that your kids were doing on the road whilst they were just sat there, in front of the iPads and stuff like that. So, it's not embarrassing, it's stupid.
Really mad because
I thought it was euro.
just before I went away, I put my tooth in my pillow and I got €5. I was like, oh, I'm going to spend it on a nice juicy lollipop.
A juicy lollipop.
And now I won't be able to explore the Inghams. I'll have to wait.
Why did I not remember that? Why am I so stupid? Now I need to work out like all the pricing because like that loaf of bread there is 25. Can't work it out.
So no, it's not actually all that difficult. I've just looked at the exchange rate and it's about 10 pence for each pound to krona, and so that makes a quick calculation, Sarah, a very quick calculation. 25 krona is around about £2.50. Very straightforward. That's an expensive loaf of bread.
But saying that, oh no, these are 20. So these apples. I've just got some apples. These are 27 krone. So what's that? I need to work it out.
Do you have data?
It doesn't matter, does it? No matter what they are, but no, it's good to know actually what they cost. Let's work it out. Okay, we've worked it out. It's 1 Danish krone. Is it krone or krona?
I
think it's different. It's different because it's different in like Norway to like it's different in the different Scandinavia countries. Basically, it's different.
Are you saying it's a different pronunciation in each country or a different exchange rate? I'm confused.
It's not all one. It's not all. Anyway, I'm just rambling on now.
So
but
they say these apples say 27, but they're really £3.10.
Yeah. So I think it's one English pound is 11
Danish krone.
Yeah, 1 English pound is 11.
That is correct. I think I said it was 10, but it is actually 11, but I rounded it, just to make it an approximation, to make it easier to work out, quite straightforward. But there's no way Sarah knew that, by the way. She obviously looked it up too, because she didn't even know that they used krona in Denmark until a minute ago, so...
Yeah, krone. So that's good to know, because I was thinking it was €25 for a loaf of bread. I knew it wasn't right, that's why I was saying it's not that. Obviously, I knew it wasn't right. Oh yes.
These are amazing. I remember last time I got them and I was like, oh, that's so good.
They're so good, they just scream Danish to me. We'll get those.
One thing that bothers me though is why is it Lidl you choose to go into? You're in a foreign country, somewhere you've been before, but not very much, right? So why don't you go to like an authentic Danish market or an authentic Danish wherever? I haven't been personally, right? I don't know what is there exactly. I'd love to go to Denmark. I really would. That was on one of my bucket lists. I haven't got more than one bucket list. It was on my bucket list. It's unlikely to happen, but I'd have loved to have gone. And these idiots are just zipping through as if it's a non-entity. fucking morons. But yeah, why not go to somewhere that's like you can say, wow, this is Denmark, you know? But no, it's Lidl. It's always Lidl.
We do. We've got a few things that we always get only when we travel. So, for example, these. Esme's throwing that syrup in there. Chris absolutely loves these, but he will only buy them when we're on a trip, when we're travelling.
But the question is, Sarah, have you worked out yet that you're supposed to put them, like, you're supposed to heat them up, put them in a toaster or something like that? Did you bring your toaster, in actual fact? You know, the one that everyone was moaning about you bringing. But, yeah, because if you don't know what these generally do, they put them in the middle of a table in their wrappers, and they just pick them up and put them on the plate and just eat them like that. I think that's how they do it, isn't it? I don't understand it personally. I mean, they are Belgian waffles. Are supposed to be het up in some method or other, and you know, you can have all sorts on them. You know, that's how. But they don't know that because they are such cultured travellers that they need to have cold Belgian waffles.
So yeah, that's good. Then we've got some apples, we've got some milkshakes, got some tomatoes, some cucumber so far. Let's go. Get yourself to Denmark for your butter, guys. Look at this, not even a pound. Salty dumplings. I was going to grab garlic. I forgot garlic. I was going to grab some fresh garlic, but yeah, look at that. Not even a pound for a tub of salted butter. Gonna get 2.
Wow. You know what else would have been you gushing over saving so much money on your butter? You know, it would have been cheaper to stay at home and go to Lidl locally, because that way you wouldn't have had to pay for ferry fees and, you know, your van fees and all sorts, right? You wouldn't have to pay for, yeah, but as long as you got butter for £1,
might as well. Right, for anyone that's nosy and wants to look in my shopping basket, we're going for pizzas tonight. Not pizzas, we're going to make calzone. Is it calzone or calzone?
I say calzone, but I think it's just me that says it.
I think I say calzone. And then someone said, you upset? Someone looked at me like I was a complete and utter muppet, so now I say calzone. But I actually think it's calzone.
No, I think it's calzone.
It's l'Italiana, calzone. Makes sense. We're going to make our own calzones or calzones. So I don't like tomato puree, I prefer barbecue based on mine. So I've got some barbecue sauces, we've got some pepperoni, we've got some chorizo. Again, Esme, is it chorizo or chorizo?
No, that wasn't chorizo.
Chorizo?
No, yeah.
Chorizo, you're right.
It just blows my mind. The amount of countries that they've been in, the amount of time that they've spent overseas, and yet they still can't pronounce the most basic of language, of words. They just can't. I mean, Esme's so certain that, nobody says chorizo. Fuck's sake, Mum. Like, why? Firstly, why are you asking the child who you are educating? Right? That just blows my mind straight off, right? But secondly, why is she so certain that it's not chorizo? Why? Because it is, right?
I've just made a film myself. Never mind. Got some chicken. Chicken to put in there. We've got some pizza topping. We've got some mozzarella. We've got some grated. Where's the grated? We've got some grated mozzarella down there, and then we've got a few other little bits that we can put in that. Isla's got herself some tea bags because, you know, she's coming back with a garlic. Right, and then we've got breakfast for tomorrow. So breakfast for tomorrow, I'm going to do in the air fryer. I saw on was it Instagram Reels or something, where they put some bread, like used a spoon to push down the middle, put an egg in it, and then outlined it with bacon in the air fryer. And it looks so juicy and good.
So why is your entire life based around doing trends and copying people that you've seen on Instagram and things like that? Because it sounds like a very boring life to live. I'm sorry, it does. Like, no imagination to do things yourself or to, you know, well, just to, yeah. Instagram. Everything that you make, you've seen it on Instagram or on TikTok. You need to make it because it's trending, so it's gotta be good, right?
So we've got that for breakfast tomorrow. We've got some bread, not bread cakes, some, what are these called? Sandwich, cafe sandwich. We've got some nice seeded bread for lunch tomorrow, though we've not got anything for inside the sandwiches. Maybe we should get some salad, cream cheese and ham. It's down there, I saw it. We'll go back and get that, don't let me forget.
Alright.
I always end up forgetting something. So we've got that for lunch tomorrow. So we've got lunch tomorrow, breakfast tomorrow, dinner for tonight, and then we need lunch for today. So we've got some salad pots. Oh, why is there 3 in here? One for Isabel.
We're gonna want one and two.
Alright. So
And then we should get some cheesy bread to go with it.
cheesy bread. Right. What about Jason Mila? What do you think they're going to fancy?
Probably some cheesy bread.
Cheesy bread. Right, I think we're almost done. We've got garlic there, we've got some salad for our sandwiches and tomorrow, we've got some chicken for our sandwiches tomorrow, and I got eggs for breakfast. I got 3 pots of this because we just seem to eat it so fast. Cream spread with chives, and then I filled those already. It's alright, I filled them already when we were getting the when you were getting the garlic, and then some dried tomato one. I think we're almost done. We should get a bit of lunch for whoever's not got lunch today, and then go pay. Yeah. This cheesy bread, guys, is where it is at. It's where it's at.
Home.
No, we don't. Never eat at home. Hey, it's only 7. That's like 70p, is it, or something? Yeah, like that. Okay, I'm sure you meant to use gloves. So there's none. It's fine. We're taking all of them anyway. Yeah. Pop them all in.
Wow, that's so, to use an Ingham term, satisfying, isn't it? So, I've got to ask Sarah, why did we have a shopping trip and a shopping haul, essentially, whilst you're on the road in your fantastic van, doing fantastic things, enjoying life to the absolute max, and you come up with a shopping trip at Lidl? Yeah. Hands up those who have been to Lidl today, in fact, you know, and didn't have to leave the country to do so.
To stop our day a little bit sooner than we were originally planning today. But Chris just said he's going to explain all that to you guys, so I won't spare you. No, I will spare you.
We are definitely going to sleep here for the night.
So is this the near-death experience that you just suffered a second ago, or are we getting to that? Because, you know, so far all we've had is a shopping vlog, and I came here for the near-death experience personally.
We're definitely sleeping here tonight, aren't we? Yeah. We'll sleep here tonight in our nice, warm, cosy van. It's Jason's.
I love your hair so much. Look at it.
I know.
My hair, guys, nearly gone.
What has?
The spider that I lived through.
Oh, let's have a look.
Spider that I lived through.
It's nearly gone. I drew a spider on him. It's been hard to get off, hasn't it? Right, so basically, Jace wakes up every morning. The first thing he said to me this morning was, "How many sleeps have we got now in the van?" Didn't you? And I was like, lots. We still got lots. And how did you think? What do you think about that?
Yay!
Yay! Jace loves the van trip. I don't know if I said before, but where were we recently? We only went somewhere for like overnight or something. And Jace was like, how many more seats? I was like, oh, we're going home now, babe.
It was in Disneyland when we slept for the one night. We were in Disneyland and we slept the last night in the car park. You went, where are we going now?
I think it was Blackpool.
No.
Yeah, we went to Blackpool for like a night. And he said, how many? And I was like, oh, we're going home today. He was like, what? We've only just got this trip started. We can't go home today. We're just getting started. It's so cute.
I remember that.
Anyway, we've just pulled up for the night. We're just in a service stop tonight. I think we might actually, we've just been looking at hotels in the area to hopefully stay in a little hotel spa tomorrow.
It's such a fart. He won't even get up that.
Is it what? No, you're going to say that again, are you?
It's such a fart.
A Jace River.
That's a fart.
No, don't you start, you little Ted. Don't you start with me. So this trip, although might seem like it's the same trip as what we did last year, it's not going to be the same. We've got different things planned this time. We're going to do some hotel stays. I know we did that last time, but we're going to do it again this time, but obviously different hotels.
Oh my god! Oh my god! She's so stupid. Seriously. Amongst so many stupid things that Sarah has come out with, this kind of almost tops it off. So, I know it seems like it's the same trip, but it's not. We're going to be doing similar things, but they're going to be different things. We're going to be staying in a hotel. I know we stayed in a hotel last time, but it's going to be a different hotel. Does the fact it's a different hotel make it a completely different event? Oh my god, I am absolutely in tears here. This is ridiculous.
I feel very lucky to be on this trip because I almost didn't let us come on it stupidly. Again, I did that thing where I let people control me.
Oh, who was controlling you this time, Sarah? Was it Jace? Did he have a word in your ear? Was he trying to stop you from coming? Was it Isabel? Did she say, let's not go? And you said, fuck that, we're going.
The first little seed that was planted in my head about actually coming and doing this trip was by actually my midwife. No, it wasn't my midwife, sorry, my health visitor. So it was my health visitor who I actually had when I was pregnant, had Mila, and she's such a lovely lady. And she came when I had Aurora. I can't remember how old Aurora was now, maybe like 8 weeks old, something like that. And, or maybe she was younger actually, I can't remember. Anyway, I can't remember why we got onto our trip that we did last year, but she was saying it sounds like an incredible trip. And I was saying to her that Chris wanted to do the trip again this year, but I didn't want to with Aurora being so young. And she's like, oh, how come? And I was like, just because, you know, it's obviously freezing and we're all in a van. And she was like, don't be so silly, get a coat on her and off you go. And I was like, I kind of just laughed it off.
Did that actually happen, Sarah? Or was it another one of your figment of imaginations? Did you have this conversation but there was actually nobody there? Is that maybe what happened? I don't know. So hands up, guys, those who know what health visitors are like. How likely on a scale of 1 to 10 are they going to suggest that a very, very young child who's just been born should be lugged about in a death trap of a van in the middle of the Arctic? Any suggestions that should happen? Let me know.
And then I was like, am I actually worried about taking Aurora? Or am I just worried about what people might say about me taking Aurora? And then that looks like that's Mila. And I was like, yeah, I'm worried about what people are going to think about me taking Aurora, but actually I'm not worried about taking her.
So nobody was controlling you. In fact, it was your own mind that was controlling you, Sarah. What you said was that people were controlling you. Nobody was telling you not to take her. Nobody, literally nobody was telling you. What you were thinking was, what will people think? And that is different to being controlled by other people. That's being controlled by your own mind.
And there's absolutely no reason. She said, that's so cute as well, showing me old pictures. She's like, obviously it takes a little bit more preparing to do a trip like this, and we've had to spend more money on the van doing backup things just in case like one fails. Like there's no reason the heating would fail, but on the off chance that it did fail, we've got backup heaters and things like that. So we never, we've got, that's what I mean, we've had, yeah, we've got backup everything in this van. So we've prepared backup power and everything, yeah. Well done. Yeah, we've got backup everything. Everything we've got like double of. So we're definitely prepared. But I was just about to say, there's no reason why anything would go wrong or the heating would go. But do you remember when we almost actually died on the last road trip and never vlogged it? We never filmed that.
Wait, can we tell the story now? Have we ever told it?
And we've never told this story.
Tell it right.
So what you're basically saying is that there's no reason that the baby should have any worries about coming on this trip, but on the last trip you nearly died. Does that not kind of make it a little bit more real, the fact that you shouldn't have taken the baby with you?
But I'll tell it right, because I know it word for word. I've revised it. I've made fake scenarios with this.
Hang on. Did I just hear that right? Isabel just said, I know this story word for word because I've made fake scenarios. And what we're about to hear will make that sound a lot worse. That she's been making up fake scenarios about what could or could not happen in the situation where they found themselves. Quite sick, really.
You guys won't know it right.
No, we will. I don't think we should even share it at all because you know that it's going to get picked apart.
No, so what?
Yeah, Chris is like, so what? It's like, so what? I'm like, I don't know if I can be bothered
with it. It
with
was a normal thing that happened and we dealt with it and it was fine. So there's nothing bad happened from it.
We did almost die, but we dealt with it and it was fine.
But, right, can we tell it? Can I tell it?
Isabel,
Me and Dad are going to collab on this.
She's suddenly just woken up. She's like, let me tell it. Wait, just before you do though, say what you just said about that picture that you just showed me.
What picture?
That picture of you and Dad.
Oh, Dad was an emo. Right, let me find it. We need to recreate this.
Isabel wants to recreate this picture.
Look how cute it is.
Wait, I can't.
With a little baggy black jumper.
In fact, Isabel, do you remember where that actually is?
Is it
Look
the
at your
beach?
face, Isabel.
Is it
It's
a
so
Scarborough?
cute. No.
Is it at a beach?
Do you remember, babe?
Yeah, Bolton Abbey.
Bolton Abbey?
Oh yeah, I would have never guessed that. I thought it was the beach.
Such a cute picture. You should definitely recreate it.
I know we should.
It's so
really
cute. Right. This time, last year, fast forward a couple of weeks because were we on our way? Where were we?
It was no.
No, we're on the way to Nordcap. Were we
no.
on the way up there?
No.
It was after that, wasn't it? I was really sick.
Was it? I thought it was the first time we hit -20 temperatures, and it was like
it was the coldest night we had.
Yeah, so it hit like.
So yeah, we're in Finland.
Oh, it was the first night after we left Rovaniemi.
Yeah, it's the first night after Rovaniemi.
Yeah.
So it hit like -20 or whatever it was. Like it
minus
yeah,
27, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was almost -30 that night.
Yeah, it was really
like
cold.
-28 or something.
Yeah, that's right, babe. -27 is almost -30. So that's right.
Yeah. So it was freezing, but obviously we had the the diesel heater. Everything was fine. We got into bed, cozy with our blankets, going to sleep. Get woken up in the middle of the night to the CO2 alarm.
No.
No.
No, we didn't get woken up to a CO2 alarm.
I thought it was going beep beep beep.
CO2.
A CO alarm as well.
Sorry, my bad. My bad. You know what I meant?
Do you know what's funny though? When I told this story to someone the other day, I also said the CO2 alarm.
Right, the carbon monoxide alarm was going off. Okay.
Yeah.
So the alarm
hang
went
on,
off.
because you don't know this part because you were still asleep.
So a carbon monoxide situation is what we're going to be talking about here. And when I first heard him say that, my heart dropped. It's like probably one of the worst things that they can worry about on the little, I mean, aside from like slipping off an icy cliff and things like that, right? But that's an actual really serious problem, and that is the problem that they suffered last time. That's concerning.
Okay, I'm just going to get this technical part right. So basically we woke up at 2, we all went to sleep about midnight. We got woken up about 2:30 by the carbon monoxide alarm going off, which was a bit terrifying in the middle of the night. We were in the middle of nowhere and it was very cold that night. The diesel heater had turned off, had stopped working, but it was still warm, so it had only just turned off. It was still almost, I think it was like 17.5 degrees or something like that, still in the van, but it was -30 almost outside. So it was very cold, everything was very frosted. So obviously we didn't know why... why the carbon monoxide alarm was going off. So in our dazed, sleepy state, we were a bit panicked. We took it off.
Yeah, we weren't sure if it was the batteries.
We took it off the wall. We took the batteries out of it because basically in the carbon monoxide alarm, if you can silence it, as in reset it, take the batteries out and put them back in, and it doesn't come back on, then it's detected carbon monoxide, but it's lower than the dangerous level. But you need to investigate it.
Okay, so I'm going to say that if there was any form of carbon monoxide, even if it's not at the dangerous levels, I'd be quite concerned for my children in general. You know, if I've got, how many kids do you have in the van at the time? 4, 5? Was it 5? 5 kids, right? Yeah? And you've got some carbon monoxide seeping out somewhere, I'd be pretty concerned.
If it can't be silenced, it comes back on when you turn it back on, then you need to evacuate and immediately basically it's dangerous levels. And it came back on, so obviously we were like, what the hell's going on?
No, the alarm didn't come back on straight away. It was silent for like half an hour.
It was half an hour, yeah. So basically we had a bit of a half an hour period where we thought, we were still sat in the van, like, okay, we're going to ventilate. We opened the windows. And
the kids were still asleep.
The kids were still asleep, so we opened the window basically and we thought, okay, even if something's gone wrong, weird or whatever, let's just figure it out calmly, let's not over panic. But whilst we were trying to figure out what had gone on, whilst everyone was asleep still, the alarm went off again.
Yeah.
So at that point we were like, okay, side doors open, everything open, everyone up.
And at this point, Dad.
But the thing is that there was nothing in the van that could have been causing it, right? The diesel heater was off.
Yeah.
Okay, the fridge is a 12-volt fridge, not gas. There's nothing else in the van physically other than the gas bottle, but it was switched off. It was totally turned off and isolated like it is every single night. There was nothing in the van physically that could have been causing the alarm to go off. So I was really confused. And obviously, but I didn't want to turn the diesel heater back on in case it was the diesel heater that was causing the problem. So what we decided to do is get up, everybody get up, start the van.
This is like 3:30 now.
Right, it was 3:30 at this point. We start the van, warm the engine, and then drive to a hotel. Check in and then sort the diesel heater out.
So you thought the best idea, when there was a clear warning sign that there was some carbon monoxide going around your van, was to just keep everybody in and drive and keep driving until you find a hotel, and you thought that was the best option to do. You know, what if, God forbid, there was enough to... I don't know.
Tomorrow, basically, once we've been to sleep, and find out what's going on. So we got up.
So Dad told the whole story.
No, I haven't yet. I'm going to tell you the rest of it.
No, get off the camera. You're not telling no more. Yeah, but guys, we got up, went to the hotel, and that's it.
That's not the story.
Right.
Yeah, that's not the story, though, is
right,
it?
So just from my side of the story, right? It was when we're fast asleep and it's getting a bit chilly, and I'm thinking that's weird because obviously we should have a diesel heater.
It's never been cold at all.
It's never been cold before, so obviously I can feel a draft. My tootsies are cold. I'm like, I wake up and I see like Dad rummaging around. I'm thinking, oh, maybe he's just editing and he's just lost something, right? Yeah. And then I wake Esme up because it's getting really cold. I'm like, Esme, why is it getting really cold? And then Dad poked his head under super fight. He was so scared. He ducked his head under. Girls, and if you feel nauseous, and then if you've got a headache. We're like, what? No. And he went, right, let me calmly say this to you. No one panic. Okay, no one panic. So the minute I get up, I'm like, what's going on? Because then we start to panic. Because Dad's like, don't panic, alright? And we're like, what happened?
It's a little bit concerning to me how they all seem to be very excited to tell this story, and how Sarah's laughing about it. It's not funny, right? Whatever happened on this particular occasion to them, this actually happens to people, right? And it's not, it's one of the worst ways that, because you can't sense carbon monoxide is a silent killer, and it's very dangerous. And the way they are just fobbing it off with laughing about it, it's just not for me.
He explained everything that he's just explained to you that had happened, right?
Yeah.
So me and Esme sat there going, oh my gosh, and then we start to think, wait, do I feel nauseous?
Yeah.
Wait, do I have a headache? Wait. And then obviously Dad started the engine up because obviously it was nearly minus 30 outside. It was really cold.
But then by this point in the van, like an hour later, after we turned the heating off and we'd opened the doors, it was already within the hour down to minus it was down to 0 degrees in the van, wasn't it? It went, and when it got to 9 degrees in the van, that's when it was freezing.
Exactly.
It felt really cold
and
to
you
us.
could see our own breath. Like,
Yeah.
me and Esme literally, and bear in mind, Esme's not an affectionate person at all, right? Bear this
Yeah.
in mind. Me and Esme were literally like snuggling. We put our heads under the covers and we were rubbing together like this. We were like wiggling together, like, give me some more, please. Put my hands in yours and wiggle together because it was so cold.
So you know how these are always portraying that the older ones are so loving towards the younger ones and would do anything for them whatsoever. Now Isabella's saying how freezing she was, and Esme, and all they wanted to do was, you know, warm themselves up together. But if they were cold, just imagine how the how old was she at the time? A year and a half? Mila would have been. How cold she would have been? She would have been stone cold and dangerously cold.
And I literally remember Dad saying, right, this is getting silly now, like we can't just stay here all night.
We need to drive.
We need to drive.
Chris is just confirming what I'm allowed to tell you guys now, because
He's very serious
about this story. So basically, the reason we decided we needed to drive was because obviously if we drove, we'd have the heat from the engine. So the heat, you know, when you naturally drive, it heats up. So we had to drive. We couldn't turn the diesel heater back on because we weren't at this point sure. We didn't think it was from the heater anyway, but it was coming from somewhere.
And the heater had broken down at that point.
And the heater had broken down. We'd got a code on the heater or something.
Okay, so your heater had broken down. So how were you planning on heating yourselves? I don't get it. Maybe I'm missing something in this story, but how... I was under the impression, Chris, that you had backups, right? You were backed up and you had things in case something went wrong. You were fine. But in an ordinary situation, what would you do if there was no heat, right? If the heater had broken down, what would you do? Didn't sound... It doesn't look like you had a backup to that.
So we were confused. But we were like, we need to drive. Like, it's too cold to stay here. We can't stay here in the van with no heating because it's too cold. We need to drive. So me and Chris got into the front, wrapped all the kids up in as much blankets and things as we could.
Did they sleep through the whole thing though?
Yeah, they slept through the whole thing. They slept through the whole thing until we had to wake them up, obviously, to put them in the car seats. But even then, they stayed asleep in the car seats. They didn't wake up at all.
Until we got to the Airbnb.
Yeah, they stayed fast asleep in their car seats, just covered them up in blankets and things.
Okay, so you know earlier I said that amongst all the stupid things that Sarah's ever done, one of the most stupid things that she'd ever done is that thing that she did. I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, right, this probably tops everything out. The entire story, this is probably one of the most concerning parts, right? This part now. What she's saying is that her two young children, a year and a half and 3 at the time, during a carbon monoxide scare, where they weren't sure if there was carbon monoxide floating about the van or not, right? Their two very young children did not wake up, right? They did not wake up. And what did they do? Nothing. They weren't worried. They weren't concerned. What they did was put some blankets around them to make sure they didn't stay cold. But, you know, the very real possibility of having carbon monoxide poisoning, and that wasn't a concern to them. If it was me and my children did not wake up during that, when there was that sort of scare going around, I'd be terrified. I'd make sure they woke up.
And then, oh my gosh, so we sat in the car, bearing in mind it's freezing because we'd had the windows open, and what does Chris think's a good idea? I know, I'm going to boil the kettle and pour it on the front window screen.
I didn't all the way boil because I didn't want to shatter the glass through like thermal shock.
He pretty much boiled it though, poured it on the window screen, and within a second, like once you could see it happen in front of your eyes, as he was pouring it, he'd not even got to the side and it had started on that side. A thick sheet of ice like that.
It didn't help at all.
Pure ice. So now we don't have a misty window. We have a pure thick ice that we could not get off, could we? We had nothing. She's smiling, Isabel, laughing at her. We were scraping it with everything we had, it would not come off. So we had to sit then in this car park.
How many cans of antifreeze did I use as well?
So much antifreeze, nothing was helping though. But then we turned the heaters on in the car, but because we weren't driving and it was so cold outside, there was no heat coming out of them. So it was like, well, what we're going to do? So we had to wait until we got like the tiniest little bit of window. It was literally that big, wasn't it? At the bottom. And Chris was like, no, I'm going to have to put my head out the window, I'm going to have to drive around the car park. It's getting to like 4:30 in the morning now. So we're driving around this car park with Chris with his head out the window so he could see where we're going, like Ace Ventura. Me's like, it's so cold, how long do you have to do this for? And it's like, until the windows, you know. We needed to drive basically to get heat to the engine, to get heat for us. So he had his head literally out the window because he couldn't see out the front.
Circles and be like, what?
Just going round in circles in this car park.
It was all good because it was like it was a dirt road car park anyway, so there's no one else.
Yeah, it's not like a busy Tesco's on a Sunday afternoon. It was like middle of the night, it was like 4:30 and there was nothing we could do. It was that odd, like they were free, so it was tough anyway. Yeah. So anyway, that's what we did. We drove, the sun came up, we drove till about 6:30.
Yeah, it was around
7. Chris got straight on his phone, we got an Airbnb, we checked into Airbnb, we didn't vlog any of this. Then we got that Chinese. Oh. I pictured it on my other phone. We got a Chinese. We didn't vlog even the next day. We didn't vlog that day or the next day because we were like, no, let's just take a couple of days off. Yeah. Things do happen that we don't film, you know. And then obviously Chris investigated the van, but I've got to stop here because it's really serious that Chris told you this part.
Alright, so once we'd driven for a bit, once we'd freed up some window space and it was all clear from doing circles around the car park. And we drove for a bit, we got to an Airbnb, managed to check in nice and early, which was good. And it turns out basically that the diesel heater had a fault code because of lack of fuel. It's like error 8 on these diesel heaters that I've got. So because the fuel line goes outside partially before it comes back into the diesel heater. I think that basically because it was so cold, there was like some fuel like gelled in the system which blocked the fuel, which turned the diesel heater off. But earlier in that day,
it had no,
Jace.
Wait. Just to confirm, the diesel heater had no relevance to the.
Sorry, basically there was the diesel heater.
Coincidence.
Yeah, so basically the diesel. There's nothing on the diesel heater could basically cause any issues with carbon monoxide because it's got an exhaust which could, but that's outside of the van at all times. It's outside and it comes out of the side of the van. There's no way that could have had an issue inside of the van like that. So basically, I know that the error was basically down to like a gelled fuel line because of the fuel froze basically. Partially, I made some ice crystals in it that just stopped it from igniting properly. So the whole thing, the coincidence of the heater going down and the alarm going off was basically a coincidence. And the reason why it was a coincidence because we read about afterwards. Earlier in the day, Jace had accidentally spilt some hand gel on the carbon monoxide detector. I'd taken it down. I'd taken it down basically off the wall and replaced the batteries that day. And Jace had spilt some what's it called?
Yeah, just hand gel.
Hand gel from the side of the sink, basically all over it, basically, and it went inside it, and they cleaned it and all the rest of it, and it looked fine. The test worked and stuff.
But we didn't think anything of it, did we?
No, but apparently hand gel can cause false positive alarms on carbon monoxide tests. On this particular brand of carbon monoxide test that we had. I don't know if it's on all of them or on just this particular one.
I think it's on all of them.
So anyway, so we basically just we put it down to that basically because it had never ever happened before.
We replaced it and it never happened again.
Yeah, and what we did was we the night in the Airbnb, obviously I fixed the diesel heater. Well, I'd say I fixed it. I just got it working again. I didn't do anything special, but it was a lot warmer where we were in the Airbnb. I ran the diesel heater all night in the van whilst we slept in the Airbnb. Came back the next morning, it was still running, everything was fine, and the carbon monoxide alarm was not going off.
I actually forgot you'd done that.
Yeah, we did the same the next night as well. Because we did 2 nights at the Airbnb. We did the same next night. The carbon monoxide didn't go off. Nothing happened to the diesel heater other than it worked normally. And so we got back in the van the next day and cracked on. So it must have just been a coincidence that the heater went down because of the temperature and the fuel line freezing, and the carbon monoxide alarm just went off randomly because of it having alcohol gel in it potentially. That's what we put it down to.
Yeah.
So when we say we nearly died, I mean...
No, we nearly froze. We did. We nearly froze.
It was cold.
If we hadn't moved, we would have died.
It was cold.
If we didn't move...
It was literally the night we checked out of the Rovaniemi hotel, the Puka hotel in Rovaniemi. And it was cold.
We did.
Isabel walked... Hang on,
No, this is my story. No, get up.
It's too long this video.
No, listen. Right, this is my frost nip story. So I didn't get a frostbite. There's 2 differences. There's frostbite, which is where like your toes go like purple.
Frostbite's serious.
Well, my toes would go a bit purple, but
I think
not.
frostnip's the start.
It's like the starter stage, and obviously if you stay in whatever conditions, then you get frostbite.
It can turn to frostbite.
It can get worse.
But frostnip is not us joking. Like it's an actual thing.
Yeah, we didn't just randomly call it that.
No, I didn't. Well, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, did we?
No, I think we did.
No, it is called frostnip.
No, it is frostnip.
Okay, right. So, I can't remember what it's called or where we were. I can explain it.
Is that Coca-Cola Town?
Yeah, but it was where that huge lake was. Do you remember? Was it like one of our first?
It was the Segestine viewpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing place.
In Norway.
Beautiful view. We got there quite late, and I remember all the stars were out, and we all wanted to go see and go look out at the stars. But I wanted to go with Mum and Dad's first, so she didn't want to for some reason she didn't want to get her boots on. She was like,
I think she would just been a bit like, nah,
she's just been lazy. She saw my boots were already out at the door, and she just said, can I put your shoes on and go look? And I said, yeah, it's easier than pulling your own boots on, it's fine. So she puts my boots on, she goes out, the snow's quite deep, so she's like, jumping in the snow, running in the snow. She accidentally fills my boots with snow, right? She brings them back.
They're too big for you.
Too big for her. So she comes back with them. She doesn't tell me she's filled them with snow, and I didn't put socks on because I thought I was just going to, quickly run out of the van, we'll just go quickly have a look and come back. So I put them on, I'm like, oh, Annie, you've put snow in my boots. And she's like, oh, sorry. But I couldn't just not wear shoes and go out, and I really wanted to go see the stars and the view. So I'm like, right, it's fine, I'll just put them on. Didn't want to get my socks wet, my fluffy socks wet, so obviously I didn't put my socks on. We walk out.
So is anyone following this insane story? So basically what's happened is Isla went out and she didn't want to get her own boots on, so she borrowed Isabel's, and while she was out there, she got her boots full of snow and left the snow in the boots. And when Isabel wanted to go out and discovered that there was snow in the boots, she thought, well, I can't not go out and I can't not put boots on. So what shall I do? I know, I'll just put the boots on. I won't put any socks on or anything like that because no, I don't want to get my socks wet, right? So I'm just gonna go out with snow-filled boots with bare feet, and nothing bad's gonna happen. Nothing. Again, it's basic education.
Like, oh, my toes are really cold, like it's actually freezing cold out here. My toes are cold, my toes are like, you know, soaking wet from the snow that was in my boots.
Bear in mind we weren't going on a hike though.
But we were out there for like...
She was just coming out to see the
We were
stars.
out there for like 15-20 minutes looking
15,
though.
20 minutes,
15-20 minutes we were just stood out there in like, it was very deep snow. My feet were right deep into the snow and I had snow all in my boots. So we come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, my feet are so numb. I woke up the next morning, oh the pain.
The frost nip had
The frost nip had set
The
in.
pain in my feet was so...
They had gone like a grey colour though.
They'd gone like a grey purple colour.
Yeah.
They were. I couldn't bend them. They were stiff. They were like so stiff. And I literally, we were only driving like the next few days, weren't we? But
Yeah.
I literally sat down for 2 days and just sat with my feet up, like rubbing them, putting them hand warmers, but like in my socks on my feet.
Yeah.
Don't recommend it. It was so bad. Like my feet were so. I don't really get a lot of blood to my feet and hands anyway because they're always freezing. So this was just like...
She proper suffered.
I did suffer, it was bad. But it's a memory, because I was like, I could cross it off my bucket list if I'd frost nip.
Bucket list time,
Like,
frost nip.
That's one thing in the world, that's just one thing in the that you can experience in the world.
The only problem...
So Isabel's bucket list contains getting frost nip. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Life is so... she must live a very... So frost nip is in fact a thing. It says it's a milder form of cold injury. It usually affects areas of skin exposed to the cold, such as the cheeks and things like that. So Mila comes to mind. Remember when people were talking about how red her face was on the last trip? Yeah, that could have been it.
Now is that because we've just done those two huge story times, there's no vlog left.
This is revealing the truth.
So we should
vlogs.
We should have. This is the truth behind the vlogs that we don't.
It's not for this video, but let's use it as
That's what we should. That's what I mean. It's like we should have put all these stories in one day when we had filmed nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Oh well. Right.
Anyway, that's the time that we nearly died from hypothermia, and also the time that we
Isabel
died of...
Yeah, Isabel nearly lost
Well,
her
I didn't really
toe.
die, but I lost
No.
my toes to frost.
That's probably a bit extreme, but it could have turned to that.
I mean,
It could have turned to that.
Well, I'm not putting down her agonies or anything like that, but it does say that's a milder form of cold injury. So, and it also pointed out that it gets better with just warming it up. So it's not really even in the same class as a frostbite. You know, if you're trying to put it down to that, no.
We'd been very sick if we'd have stayed in the cold.
Yeah. So, yeah. So there's me saying it's totally safe to be in Scandinavia, but actually with the baby. But actually, I'm only joking. We have completely and fully prepared this one.
Yeah.
And
Hey, we're completely and fully prepared last time as well. There's no difference.
Well, I disagree, to be honest with you, Chris. It sounds like you didn't fully prepare, because what was happening whilst you didn't have a heater working? You didn't have any heat, did you? Now, what you'll say is that what you should have done is have a backup heater that didn't rely on gas, for example, right? That would have been a logical thing to do, but you didn't have that, so you could have better prepared, because what if your gas runs out, or what if gas, I don't know how it works, but, you know, it needs to be a different form of heating up, you know, and you didn't have that. You nearly froze to death. Title of this video, in fact, nearly died. Do better.
the thing is that last time it sounds like we didn't prepare. There was nothing even wrong. In reality, just the fact that it sounds extreme and dramatic, but really it's just the fact that Jay spilled alcohol gel on the carbon monoxide detector. Nothing actually happened. It was
So you say nothing is wrong, Sarah, but that's not entirely true, right? You gave your 3-year-old hand sanitizer to play with, right? Here it says, remember to keep hand sanitizers out of children's reach. Don't forget about travel-sized bottles of sanitizer in purses, diaper bags, backpacks and cars. Supervise children ages 5 and younger when they use hand sanitizer. And when using hand sanitizer dispensers, it's important to position them in a way that won't squirt into your child's eyes. So it also says that swallowing can cause poisoning. Yeah, that's the thing. So I just... When you say nothing was wrong, nothing went wrong, you did nothing wrong, that's not entirely true, is it?
Just a terrifying night for us because we didn't know that at the time, and obviously we are responsible parents, so we opened all the doors and windows as anybody would.
Responsible parents are you then, Sarah? Wow, wow. So you had a carbon monoxide poisoning scare and let your 2 very young children just sleep it off, right? Problem number 1. Secondly, you let your 3-year-old play with hand sanitizer, and that is a health risk. What else did you do? That's right, you let your kids freeze because you didn't have a backup heater. You I don't know, your 17-year-old daughter went out with no socks on, with shoes full of snow, into the snow, right? And ended up having frostnip for a couple of days. All these things adding up and not really the best parenting.
We were just as prepared last time as we are this time. No difference. We've just got a bigger van, that's all.
No, we've got more heating and
so
stuff this time.
More's had to happen.
But we've had more heating. Yeah, but we've got 2 diesel heaters this time and in cabin heating, which is what we use. And the in cabin heating this fan is so good. We didn't even use the heating last night. It was so hot in here.
Right next to where I sleep, it gets really warm.
Yeah, because the radiators are all around the outside of the van coming up, and it's just so warm when you put the heaters on. So last night I was like, nope, get them radiators off. It's so sweaty in here. Guys, I just turned the camera off to end the vlog and Chris told me off. I'm in the bad books.
No, I just wanted to say that obviously these last 2 days have been full on driving vlogs because we're trying to get to Scandinavia and it's very far away. So it takes a couple of days to get there, but once we get there, that's when the meat's coming. You feel me? It's not going to be just...
Chris just doesn't want you guys to think that we're only filming sat driving in the car.
Or in the van.
Well, Chris, you arrived in the countries yesterday. Your first vlog was yesterday, right? And so far, you've zipped right through the Netherlands, you've zipped right through Germany, and you are into Denmark, and tomorrow you're going to be in Sweden. Why? What's the rush? What are you doing that is so important that you need to get up to Norway ASAP? Why not take in some of the sites on your way? Why not look at some of the cultural things that these lovely countries have to offer? Why just, visit a Lidl?
This trip's going to be the one. It's going to be
great.
Bigger than last year.
I know
by far.
already. It's not going to be.
And not only that, it's going to be bigger than last year, but it's also. I also want to say as well that we're not ignoring these countries that we're driving through, and I feel tight like we're just blasting through them and not giving them any airtime.
Guys, I went to Denmark today. I didn't even realise what currency was, and I went into Lidl, the supermarket, and I asked the man at the till, "Oh, how do you say hello in Dutch?" And he went, "Hi," and I was like, "Hi." I felt like the biggest tool. But we did skip through Denmark last time. That's why I'm getting confused, because we didn't even stay in Denmark last time.
We stopped for fuel, that's it.
We stopped for fuel, that's it. So.
Yeah, but you knew that you were going to Denmark on this occasion. So why weren't you brushing up on your Danish, for example, on the way? You've got fuck all to do on the road. Learn the language of the country you're about to go to. Anyway, that's just another lovely experience with the Inghams. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys, because what we've learned today is that these morons are bigger morons than I thought, right? If any of that was true, right, then, my God, it makes some terrible parents, and it kind of makes everything real, the reasons why they shouldn't be going on these trips and things like that. Anyway, I can't any longer. I know a lot of people are really getting sick of the shit that these 2 idiots are pulling, mainly because they're putting the kids at risk on a daily basis, and I completely get it. I keep seeing people saying that they're done with them, they're not going to watch them anymore, they can't be arsed, they got to step away. I've seen quite a few people over the last few days actually say that, and it's just, if that's how the haters feel, imagine how the IFAM must be feeling. Yeah, Your channel's dying, Chris. Yep, it is. Anyway, if you have appreciated this video, please give it a massive thumbs up. Comment all of your thoughts about it down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Until next time, have a brilliant day. Take care of yourselves and bye-bye.